Daisie, Christy, Sara and I are doing our Quilters vibe. We missed last month, so we've brought forward what we were going to do last month to this month, and it was my turn to pick a quilt, and I chose this one called Strip Twist by Bonnie Hunter, and I will link in the description box to the free pattern on Bonnie's blog where you can find this quilt if you want to make it. When I was looking for an inspiration quilt, I knew that as soon as I saw this one I wanted to replicate the block fairly accurately because I've got this gigantic box of branding strips. I'm not even joking. It's probably about twice the size of a shoebox and weighs about over 2 kilos, which is like 2 kilos would be about 4.5-ish pounds off the top of my head. This is not even going to make a small dent in it, but I'm going to try. So I haven't made a layout in probably about a month, and whenever that happens I feel really rusty, and best way to push past that is to either use a sketch or a scrap lift. And to me a scrap lift is still, it's kind of similar to using a sketch really. I'm going to use this photo because if we're using paper strips always remind me of this guy. Now somewhere I have strips of paper that actually has his tooth marks in it, because if you don't stop him he will eat it. And so when he made himself a bed in my scrap box, and that's probably why when you see my paper strips, why they're all bendy and scrunched up, because he weighs like 6 kilos, which is 13 pounds. I don't know, it's a lot. It's a fair bit. The paper strips are kind of an integral part of the story for me. You can sort of see them coming out from under him. It's like a creepy cat den, but he can just open his mouth and eat without moving. So, yeah. Anyway, I am going to, it's a really overcast day, so I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm going to have to, I've cranked the ISO as much as I dare to on the camera, and I'm going to have to sort it out in the software add a bit more. Anyway, my initial thought was to do the entire page of that, and that would be very nice. But then I'd be sad about whatever I covered up. So I was scrolling through different layouts that I had saved, either on Pinterest or Insta or whatever. I saw this one, and immediately this strip of these hearts said use a strip of this, put it there. But I'm going to kind of do the opposite. Oh, this is by Chamel, by the way. You can find this one on her Insta. It might have been one of her Friday Night Live creations, I'm not sure. So instead of doing a nice orderly rainbow here and then a kind of random crazy embellishment cluster but using the same colors, I'll do the opposite. So the crazy random colors here, and then I'm going to try using embellies to make this sort of in rainbow order. May not work, we'll see. Really love that the photo has a whole bunch of mats. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least, because that's something I love to do. These are just the strips that I have. See, I've got some greys to pick from. These are just the strips that I have pulled out of the bigger box. So these are just, I tried to pick out selections of light and dark to contrast, because if you read the pattern, you need to make, I'll get to that, but you need to alternate light and dark, and they just need to be relative to each other. And I tried, some of them I picked because they reminded me in a way of either the story or the cat or something. So that's those, which I will come back to. I have some options for grey. Guess who that is? So I think once I've got my strips and cut the way they need to be, I'll come back to those. They need to be in groups of 4, so 4 half-inch branding strips will give me 2-inch squares, which then get cut in half. So what I did was I just used some plain copy paper and I cut it into 4x8. So I'm going to use these as templates. So when I've put my strips down, then I'm going to cut it in half and I'll have 2 squares, and then I'll cut each of those because I don't want too many repeats. I want it to be deliciously random. Okay, I'm going to gently tack them down with some adhesive because I'm going to stitch once I've put them on this stitched down in the middle. I like to use machine stitching on as many of my, especially on Quilters Vibe layouts, because it really does add to the Quilters Vibe. I will stick it on fast forward while I mess about with getting these together. And okay, here are my sets. I have made, I think, 8, which I calculated to be a whole lot more than is necessary. It'll be fine. So next step, I'm going to stitch with just a straight stitch down the middle. I normally seem to use white, but I think I'll use grey today. We're using a grey background, Fitzy's grey. All stitched down. I purposely did them kind of wonky. It's easy, I don't have to try. But I really like that look for some reason more on scrapbook pages, and especially it goes with the story. So I'm going to cut them up in half and then on the diagonal, and then I'll start playing with them and putting them together. This is an example of one of these units, but what I wanted was to have the one on point with one on either side, which I think will be about a third of the page. I'm just going to keep putting them together. Okay, I think this is as good as I'm going to be able to get the balance and the colours and everything. It turned out I didn't have quite as many as I thought. I only ended up with maybe 4 or 6 spares, and I was really pushing it to get a decent variety. I think the contrasts are not quite as high as they should be, because I think Bonnie's used a lot more white in hers. I was trying to steer away from neutrals because I knew the background was going to be grey, but you live and learn, so I don't mind that too much anyway, because yeah. So I am going to stick that onto the page, and out of the greys I'm thinking maybe this one, the Bella Boulevard one, not these other two. I think the colour is just not quite right. I might go with this more subtle one, because I know that if I'm going to put other embellies on either side, and then I still need to journal so that it can be seen, I'm going to line the paper up with the boxes, with the squares on the mat, so I can start. So I want to start at least 2 inches away from the edge. Yeah, that looks about right. 2 inches away. The glue dots, because stitching is bumpy. Bumps mean that it's not going to sit neatly, so I'm also going to use this ruler, I think, make sure I get it right. I'm not usually such a stickler for detail, but in order for them to sit neatly, and they're already going to be a little bit off because of this slight warping and wobble and all that stuff. Okay, we were going 2 inches in. To doing the zigzag up the side, which there are a few dodgy spots because the needle kind of, once it gets really sticky, because there are glue dots in places, it kind of keeps popping up. Anyway, I also decided to go around these diamonds in the center to sort of make them stand out a little bit, and it's pushed the middles in, which are flapping about in the breeze, so I thought I'd come in and put something there. But when I grabbed the photo and put it here, I realised that I think I would prefer to flip it over like this. So this is the original sketch. If I flip it and do an exact mirror image, he would be here, and I think I like him a little bit better here, being in the middle. I don't know, it was making me twitchy. And while things like these hearts are upside down, these ones are the right way up, but the biggest advantage is, especially once I add the photo mats, I can cover up a lot of the dodgy area. Especially this block, I had to cut it away and add another one because I messed up on the piecing and I only noticed after I stuck it down. Okay, paper layers. Now, since I wanted to try and do a rainbow going across like this, or even I wanted to make sure all the colours are represented, which for the most part they are here. There is purple in just a few tiny places. Now the one that I had to rip off here had a large purple bit, so I was a bit sad to make that go. So I think I definitely need to make one of the mats purple in order to make sure that that is a thing. Okay, so I raided the scrapbox, the very scrapbox, and pulled out. This was from a paper pad. It's grey. It's kind of a brownish grey. I don't know. But I like the size. I do like this white with feathers. The red with those things that freak me out. But I include them on cat layouts for obvious reasons, which I just don't want to think about anymore. This is not a scrap, but it's got the purple and it's got a whole bunch of coloured feathers. So maybe layering both of those somewhere, and obviously purple. Let's see. Ooh, this. That's a nice purple. It won't be able to be a full mat, but I can slot that in somewhere. And this is an ancient bit of scrappy paper that's been floating about. Doesn't really, doesn't go. Let's see. Oh, this I pulled because I think I want to cut that cat out maybe. I'll see. I've got him, I think, in the stickers. That's not bad. And he likes chasing butterflies and moths and things like that. Yeah, maybe this one. So if we put this one like this, something like that maybe. May need something else in there. Okay. Oh, the only thing is, I don't know. Maybe this royal blue. Yeah. Right. I'll cut some of those down and forgot to hit record. You didn't miss anything. Matte stack. Put it on glue dots because it's pretty thick and heavy. In hindsight, I probably would have gone with less crazy colours, but it is what it is. I had a poke around for title letters. These were at the top of the box, and they're a kind of a greyish wood grain, but they're light enough to stand out, and I can just do the whole title with them. Smells mixed up her alphas, which I love, but I just don't have the mental capacity right now to think about this. I'm already a couple of days late. Just want to get it done. Change my mind slightly, and I might do just this whole line like this, and then I'll do the word cat in large letters. These white glittery guys, love the font, but they are quite big, so they might be the very thing. I've gone with a bunch of stickers. I can tell already that where I'm going to put pink, I don't think that big cat's going to fit, but that's okay. The good thing is the backing came off with it. Right, this grey sticker doesn't go with any of the rainbow stuff, so I could put it in something, you know, that kind of thing. Alright, pop dots on the back of this cat. Okay, now all the stickers and bits and pieces I've picked relate to either crafty stuff, because he's in my box of scraps, or cat stuff, or what he might say if he could say stuff, or just stuff relating to the story. I think I will do what Shamel did and do an across thing, but I think what I'll do is a much longer column, because yeah, let's try that. It probably means that a fair few of our stickers will either have to be cut off or not used, but that's okay. Tiny little stickers, not that tiny, but hopefully enough to do the job, and a whole bunch of puffy bits and pieces. So hopefully I can finish these lines. To put 3 things in the middle before the journaling. Some of these that I got from Etsy, and I think the ones with the white background are going to stand out the best, because you know we're already going like carrot stuff. I'm not worried that they're not all like him. That guy is. I'm just going to do it because otherwise I'll be here for a while. Okay, awesome. Journaling. Done, but now I've left an awkward little gap that bothers me. there is one of these little sticker birds floating around that's not adhesive anymore. So I'm going to stick it there and be done with it. Oh, the date. Why do I think I'm done when I'm not done? Where do I put the date? Maybe up here. Alright, there it is. Am I happy with it? Not so much. It's okay. It tells a story, that's the main thing. And it definitely got me out of my haven't scrapped in over a month type of rut. So it always happens that the first layout back is a bit... Anyway, I'll add some still photos. And please go and check out the other girls. And if you are remotely interested in quilting, please go and check out Bonnie Hunter. I'll link to the particular pattern that you can download for free and make the strip twist into a quilt, or you can use that to explore her website. And Bonnie has currently started her annual mystery quilt, which is so exciting, and I can't wait to start, but I've got a few things to get out the way first. So thanks for watching, and there'll be more, like you can read the journaling and stuff on my blog and all of that. So bye.